Welcome to my video on homeschooling in Switzerland. Parents are allowed to teach their children at home instead of sending them to elementary school. However, not everywhere has the same terms. Switzerland has different cantons, and different cantons have different rules for homeschooling. It is estimated that between 700 and 1,000 children are taught at home by parents or privately hired teachers. In this brief video, I will be describing the policy as well as looking at the historical and current perspectives of homeschooling here in Switzerland. I will also be examining the strengths and the weaknesses and reflecting on the information I found. Switzerland is made up of 26 cantons. Cantons are kind of like states when compared to the US. They all have their different view of homeschooling and different guidelines of which they go by. In the northeast of Switzerland is a canton called St. Gallen. It is the most extreme when it comes to homeschooling, as it is basically never allowed. It can be approved in principle, but is almost never approved. St. Gallen surrounds another canton called Appenzell, and that has very liberal laws when it comes to homeschooling. Appenzell Canton currently has 36 children in homeschooling, but they must write tests and prove that they have age-appropriate knowledge, and they must use the approved materials and have logged timetables. Some strengths that I found when regarding St. Gallen's strict rules of homeschooling were that it allows children to socialize, it seems easier to organize and keep track of the kids, and everyone pretty much has the same common experiences. And everyone is equal, which could be good in some people's views. And possibly there are good teachers because Switzerland has a pretty good education system. But the biggest strength is probably the socialization of the children. When it comes to homeschooling, many people found weaknesses in St. Gallen's mandatory schooling. First off, a child and the family should probably have a choice in what they want to do when it comes to education. Here, the parents are forced to send their kids to school, and in the US, we're used to maybe having more rights when it comes to that. Also, they don't set their own schedule, as they have to go with what the school says, with holidays and everything. And they don't get to choose the child's goals, as everything is mandated by the canton. Being brought up in the US, I feel that the parents and the families had more choices, but here it doesn't seem as much. Another big factor and weakness is moving. A lot of families move from one canton to another just so they could have the right schooling that they want, including the option of homeschooling. Also, some parts of Switzerland are pretty remote, and farming is still really important, and the children help their families with that. While reflecting on this policy, I learned some really interesting things. For one, there is no need for a teacher's diploma or certificate to teach the children at home, but you have to be qualified. But what does being qualified mean if you don't have a certificate saying that you're allowed to teach? It is very subjective. I live in the canton next to St. Gallen, which is called Thurgau. In Thurgau, you are allowed to homeschool, but it must be with a teaching credential. From what I've learned, each canton seems pretty stuck in their ways without any future of change. So the only way to get the homeschooling rules that you want would involve moving to that specific canton. Thank you for watching my video.